Hi YouTube, this is Mini Prepper. I haven't made a video on what I think about the pandemic and all the things that surround it. From a prepping standpoint anyway, you guys can see that I've been busy, really busy with our grandchildren, and I really have been waiting for some of these thoughts to coalesce before I made a video. So today is a gorgeous day, and I decided to come out here and do one. This has really exposed a lot to me about prepping in general and people who call themselves preppers, and opened up just a whole new world for me in terms of the responsibility or irresponsibility that I see being exercised on people's parts during this. My husband and I, for over a month, have been practicing social distancing before it was required or asked for by people in law enforcement or the government. And probably we started to visit the grocery store or do pickups around the same time, even longer than a month ago. Started to go off-peak, and by off-peak I mean at 6 o'clock in the morning before sunrise, to pick up our mail, where our mail is located. And that's a shared community situation where you just run into people and you share a common door and you have a key to get into your mailbox and all that. So it's really a place where you're going to be in close proximity to people. We started to pick up our mail a long time ago. We started to quarantine our packages and our mail for at least 2 or 3 days before we brought it into the main part of the house. So yeah, we've been doing this for a long time. And then my grandchildren came with my daughter, and we kind of set the rules, made the expectations known that once she was here, there'd be no running around in the community, and that we were going to practice social distancing, and that we were going to do without in some cases. As you guys know from previous videos that I've made, that I've since made many of them private, we are very well supplied with food. And I really don't want to get into our long-term preps, that is our freeze-dried food right now, because I don't think it's necessary yet. And by yet, I'm saying there's an expectation that a few weeks are going to pass and this pandemic, this COVID-19, this coronavirus is just going to magically disappear. And I don't believe that. I think this may be around for a long, long time. So while we still have the opportunity to visit the grocery store, we will do that, albeit if we do go, we'll go infrequently, and we'll go at off-peak times, like before sunrise. So anyway, this gets me around to the point that I was trying to make. I have seen so many people online who say that they're preppers, and so many people in the neighborhood who just are not taking this seriously for whatever reason. And they are here in our area. They're congregating to play games. I won't say what games. But yeah, masks just started to be worn in some of the stores just about maybe a week or so ago. And there's a big argument in our community about whether or not they should close certain areas of the community down. Most people, I think, if you see them out and about, are staying at least 6 feet away from each other. But we live in a semi-rural area. We don't live in the city, so our population density out here is quite small. But there's still a lot of, quote, not taking this seriously enough that I see just from the way people started out in their attitudes towards this. They were, oh yeah, order takeout, we don't want the restaurants to shut down, this kind of thing. So, firstly, if you are having to order takeout or get your food from a place, I'm all for supporting the restaurants, but you really don't know if that person who's cooking your food inside the restaurant is sick, if someone's coughing on your food, if they're asymptomatic, and they're just in a COVID-filled environment, and they're packing up your food into a styrofoam container and shipping it home to you. Same thing with Amazon. Same thing with your mail. You really need to be careful. You really need to be careful about what you bring into your house. Most people have a garage. If you can just leave that stuff in the garage for a few days, it's going to be much safer to bring into your house. And, get gloves. Wear something over your face when you go out. This is killing a lot of people. And I guess maybe the point I wanted to make about people on YouTube, especially, who are putting out these prepping videos, they're still going out. They're still going to the hardware store. They're still having people come on property. They're still exposing themselves for, quote, necessary items like bicycles, right? Or things they think they need to top off their supplies. If you have food in your house, you have enough, you really need to stop going out. It's past the point, it's past the time now. You should have been prepared before. You should have had rice, you should have had some beans, you should have had some powdered milk, you should have had all the basics that you needed. And if you need to go out right now because you're not prepared, you're rolling the dice, and you're putting yourself and you're putting whoever you come in contact with at risk. And this message is just for preppers. I don't expect the majority of the population to know any better. So if you're on here and you're just getting this message for the first time, I'm really not fussing at you. This is going to wake a lot of people up. A lot of people are just going to go back to normal thinking after this is over and accuse preppers of hoarding. But most of the stuff that preppers really have, are things that they bought a year or 2 years ago. Sometimes, in our case, maybe even more, maybe like 5 years ago. Preppers have water purification. They live close to natural water sources. A lot of them have solar backup systems. A lot of them have generators. Many of them have food sources that are outside the grocery store. They could feed themselves if they had to. So the difference between a prepper and a hoarder is that a prepper takes into account all of these other things, as well as having a 5-year supply of toilet paper. Toilet paper you can do without. Food you can't do without. Anyway, what I'm saying is that if you are a prepper and you're still going out, you're not taking this seriously. And you're not setting a good example for other people either. So that's all I have to say for today. A few days after Easter 2020, this is Mini Prepper, and I'm out.